Welcome everybody on the next Storware Backup and Recovery webinar. This time we'll talk about the latest version, so the brand new 6.2. My name is Paweł Mączka, I'm CTO and VP at Storware. So in the next 30, maximum 40 minutes, we'll go through what we have done lately. And as you know, maybe you've been waiting for this release, we are trying to do our best 3 times during a year. So after the few months, we generate a bunch of the new features that we would like to share with you on this specific meeting. So let's go with me. If you will have any questions, do not hesitate to use the chat. My team will respond as fast as possible during the webinar. So as you see on the slide, there is a huge amount of the new features that I would like to cover. I will not go deep dive into each of them, but basically we'll start from the OpenStack and the virtuoso support. Then the Open Metal, another the OpenStack vendor that is started the Technology Alliance with us. Then S3 object lock. So we've been waiting, and many of the partners, customers waiting for this kind of the functionality. So more immutability specific for the S3. So in this case, for the object storage. KVM, infinity numbers, tapes, Microsoft 365, data protector connector, web UI, and many security related features. So let's go. I pick most of the important things from my perspective into this few slides, and then I will go through the live demo, show you how it actually looks like in a 6.2, especially from the new UI or the changes in a UI. Okay, so let's start with the Open Metal. I just said that, and I mentioned like 2 years ago, that the store is mostly dedicated to the KVM-based and Xen-based hypervisors. This is a really important message. We didn't know yet what happened with the Broadcom acquisition and all of the VMware folks. And we've seen that there is a huge number of the installation that moving from the VMware into the other hypervisors. We started the KVM-based hypervisor protection since 2015. So we have a 9 years history to protecting and leveraging the enterprise-grade software into this world. OpenStack is a different story. We started the first support for the OpenStack in 2019, so we have a history like 5 years old, and right now we're trying to add in a new features related to the OpenStack in each release. OpenStack is really important for us. OpenStack community, Open Infra community. We are working in a daily basis, and lately when we've been in the Vancouver in 2023, I met the Open Metal guys, and we like each other, and I totally trust them how they can easily build the on-premise or the cloud implementation based on the OpenStack. So we certify, we align our companies, and we can right now say that we officially support the Open Metal implementation. So if you're interested in the Open Metal, just go to their website. But remember, if you will use their implementation, you can be easily covered by the Storware Backup and Recovery. What's more, Virtuoso is another player from the OpenStack community that we've been working on in the last more than the year, and we officially support the disk attachment strategy. We started with the SSH, but at this moment we're replacing the SSH into the disk attachment. There will be the only strategy that we will be supporting, or we are supporting right now on the Virtuoso platforms. So keep in mind, if you're already using the Virtuoso with the Storware Backup and Recovery from 6.2, you will need to move into the disk attachment. Not only from the performance, but also from the security perspective. This is a good move. That's why we decided to build this kind of the backup strategy for the Virtuoso users. And if you are still in the OpenStack, so Open Metal, OpenStack and Virtuoso world, We have also option, and we're giving the option to partners and customer to specify a MAC address or use the original one during the restoration. So when you can specify, we have many inquiries that, okay, but sometimes I would like to, you know, change the MAC address because the MAC address is the only way how I would like to align this specific virtual machine. So we have added this option into the restoration module, so we can easily specify it and use it during a restoration process. What's more, in a KVM standalone legacy implementation, we started to support the quiet snapshot, so file system freeze feature support for all of the VMs that running the virtual machine tools. So we are able to freeze the file system, so we don't need to use the pre and post snapshot. We can just try and using the VM tools to freeze during the snapshotting and during the backup operation. If we cannot use actual the FS freeze, we will try to do a quiet snapshot. If it's not available, we'll try the standard way, like we used to do it in a KVM-ish scenarios. This is a really important part. So backup destination as S3 object lock. So it doesn't matter if you're going into the AWS, but if you're going also for the all of the S3 compatible storages that we are cooperating with, and it could be the data core, Storadata, Wasabi, Impossible Cloud, or the other vendors who are using the S3, or even Ceph that are giving you the Rados gateway with the S3 compatibility. If you would like to add the extra immutability, so extra protection, to do not allowing the override the existing object that we are protecting based on the Storware Backup and Recovery, you have right now the trigger to use this feature in the two modes. One mode is the compliance mode. The second one is the governance mode. In a compliance mode, you cannot, even if you are a root user in the AWS, for example, you cannot change this object after you are creating the number of the days that the object lock is working on. In the governance mode, you will have this capability, but you need to have a special privilege to do it so. How to do it? You go into the backup policy configuration, and in a rule, like you see on the slide, you have the extra two parameters that you need to put and configure. The first one is the number of the days to keep for the object lock, and the type retention mode for the object lock that which we are using. So it can be, like I said, compliance or the governance. Later on during the live demo, I will show you where exactly it is. I don't know if you know, but we introduced the notification rules. So it means that some specific actions or things that can be happen on the Storware server or the node can be triggered and sent it through as an incident to the end user administrator. We call it notification rules. So we added one condition that few customers said that could be beneficial for them by design, is to allow free space on staging backup destination. So as you know, we have a staging space before we'll send the data to the specific target. So if we have too low space during a backup window on the staging, we will automatically trigger this action and send the notification to the end user. It could be via webhook, email, or the other options to notify. It's good, we build it, so you can easily add it when you will go to the notification rules. Changes for the tape libraries. We moved the support for the tape libraries we call tape pools from the technical preview into the general availability, and we added a few things that for sure it will satisfy not only you but much more wider range of the partners and users. So first thing, we added the tape encryption, which is based on the IAS 256. I know that always there's a question where actually the keys are storing. So answering all of the keys are storing in our database, metadatabase, that is using for all of the metadata from the Storware catalog perspective, and it's also encrypted. So this is an important part. For each backup, the list of used tape is available. So you have also option to check which tapes is required for the recovery if it's needed. So imagine that you would like to restore some bigger part of from bigger virtual machines, and you know that you will be needed more than the one tape, or this chain of the backups could be on a different tapes in a different location. So you can view this list, you can prepare the tapes, and during a restoration you will have everything that you need from the media perspective. And we started supporting the read-only, the cleaning tapes. We haven't have this functionality in the technical preview. We need some time to polish it and make it happen. So we fully encourage you to use our tape pool module, which is a dedicated module which can be installed on the same machine if it's physical, or the separate as a tape agent, which correlates and connect to the physical streamer or the physical library. Let's jump from the tapes, so from the physical media into the Microsoft 365. So more about the cloud itself. We, from the last few releases, we all the time keep it up and trying to make your life easier from the scales perspective. From the performance improvements are significant change in the last release. We've seen like few hundreds% of the improvements are related, especially to the Teams, or to the calendar, or to the Exchange Online. So we're trying to do it better and better with each release. And as you know, if you are interested in the Microsoft 365 backup, you know it's not easy cake. You have a throttling, you have different things and many other pitfalls that will slow down your backup and recovery processes. So I'm glad to see that we improved lately significantly. So I encourage you, if you have a bigger environment that you would like to test the performance, just download the latest 6.2 version. But what is more important actually is a key differentiator against the our competition, because what we noticed, and we have many of the inquiries from the market, is that can you support the private channels backup in Teams? And in most cases, most of the markets say no, we cannot. Right now, you should know that in Storware Backup and Recovery, we have this kind of the capability. So protecting the private channels, and you can see here the list: so backup and restore of the messages, backup restore of the files, backup restore of SharePoint sites related to the channel. So if you have a private channels requirements internally, or for your customers, if you are business partners of the distribution, the Storware Backup and Recovery is a right choice. And last change for the Microsoft 365 is the changes in the data transfer workload. This is a significant change because after we added the Microsoft 365 into the Storware Backup and Recovery, the agent itself has the capability to connect, download the data from the Microsoft 365 and transfer the data through the agent into the backup destination. Right now, where we change the direction, the agent is not able to write it down to the backup destination, it goes through the node. So we would like to simplify the process of data transfer for all of the different workloads that we have right now. So always the node is the data mover. So the agent from the Microsoft 365 communicates through the node, and the node sends the data to the specific backup destination. The good news is that before, when the agent done the dirty job, so moving the data, we have a support only for the file system, S3, Azure Blob, and the open text, so all the Micro Focus name, so data protector. Right now, because we changed the support for the node itself, it means that everything on the right side that is supported from the node perspective, like for the virtual machines, so we're talking about all of the object storage flavors, modern file system, and other enterprise backup provider, starting from the IBM, Dell, or the other names that is supported on the right side of the list. We can do it right now also from the Microsoft 365. So this is a really, really good news, and also is polishing and simplify the architectural scenarios. What's more changes, and we build it for the agent for the Microsoft, but also for the operating system agents, so OS agents. We built and the data verification and the cleanup. So we are listing all files in a backup destination and comparing with the database. And if we have some redundancy of the expiration files, we just removing it. So this is the additional processes that we built on top of the node functionality and through the agent. So this is the, let's say, again, the process of the simplification of the combination between the different sources. So we already had it for the other sources, like virtual environment, storages. We added also from the agents, and in this case, this is the Microsoft 365 and OS1. Changes in web UI. We started these changes in 6.0.1, then 6.1. So we changed the navigation and the views, because what we've noticed is that we have more and more data to present to you when you're working with the Storware Backup and Recovery. And sometimes the number of the information that we put into the one place could overwhelmed many of the admins. So we decided to build models. We decided to redefine how to aggregate and put many of the information in a different format. I personally believe that this is a great options. We started with the virtual machines. In this 6.2 version, we applied to the Microsoft storage backup policies, node configuration, and we also improved the backup statistics, which is really important, because in most cases we are interested in about the transfer and all of the data stats related to the backup and recovery processes. So we can see here on the right side that we do not put all of the information into the one page. You have details, so things that we can, let's say, visualize without the changing the functions always will be on the first side. If we would like to change anything, we have a tabs, we have a icon to change. So you will see on the live demo how it looks like. Security improvements. Also, this is what I said more than a year ago. Every Storware Backup and Recovery release will be also focused on more and more security improvements. We align our algorithm to be FIPS compliance, so 140-2 compliant algorithm and the encryption. We also, because we have more and more OpenStack implementation and more customers or managed service provider using our Horizon plugin, So we also put lots of effort to make more secure the Horizon plugin from the Storware Backup and Recovery perspective, and we manage better the SSL certification handling for the Kubernetes and the OpenShift. But nothing lasts forever. Support for the Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization version 3. That is quite old stuff that we started like 2016. So we have an 8 years history, and we decided, okay, we don't see more customers who are actually running the Rev version 3. Most of the customers moved into the version 4. Actually right now 4.4 or 4.5. So we decided to get rid of the support, and from the 6.2 we do not support Rev version 3. I don't think so that you are working on the version 3. It's a really old stuff. If you have it, please consider to move into the version 4. Believe me, you will feel much more secure and flexible. And because in version 3 we supported the one of the first backup strategy based on the export storage domain, we also got rid of this functionality. There is no need right now, even in version 4, to go with it. We have a disk attachment, we have the image transfer, we have the disk attachment with CBT. So more and more strategy that already was developed from not only the Red Hat but the other KVM orchestrator that are working on the market. And we got rid of the support for the incremental backups for the SSH transfer using the Cookout2 files from the OpenStack, Virtuoso, and KVM. This is a long-term strategy to changing the SSH transfer. From one side, this is a great opportunity to use it, but we also many times have some feedback from the customer that we would like to use the disk attachment or the other strategies, not the SSH. The SSH giving us some vulnerabilities that we would like to expose related to the specific to the backup features. So we are in a path of a change in SSH strategy. We'll propose some new changes, but not in this release. We started to get rid of the incremental backup and advising most of the customers and partners to move into the different strategies. Okay, so let's just jump into the live demo. Hopefully you see my screen. So few things that we already discussed. I would like to emphasize and show where it's actually in our platform. So let's start with the virtual environments, and I mentioned about the new UI. So you can see here, even if when I'm going into the backup policies, so you can flip and change the section order. So you can start with all of the details, then you have a stats, or in the opposite way. When you go, you can see that here you have a backup history, you have a details, and in the details there are things that are only in a read-only mode, but you can change it by going here and click the settings. When you click the settings, you actually go into the specific options configuration for the policies. Before that, you just needed to go straight away into this feature, and sometimes what we got from the market, you've been a little bit confused. So first you starting from the bunch of the statistics, read only, then here you can see all of the changes related. So starting from the general, choosing which machines you would like to protect related to this policy, backup process. Here, this is the place to add the quiet freeze. FS tool, FS freeze features for the KVM, for example. This is what I told you. And in the rules, if you will go and choose S3 compatible storage. I just add, for example, the one of our technology alliances called Impossible Cloud. Here you can see that you have a object log number of the day, so you can put the 90 days. You can choose the compliance or the governance. Good information. The immutable backup cannot be greater than retention. Sure do, fully correct. For example, governance and the option to save if it's possible. Remember that rules are always the place where we are choosing where to store the data, for how long, and how often. And this is the place where you can assign the specific policy with the schedule. So you've seen where to find the S3 object log features. Let's go what I told you also in a virtual platforms instances. Let's find some protected machine based on the, for example, virtuoso. Let's do the backup in the meantime. Let's run it. Let's go inside. Also the new window, but from the restoration perspective, this is what I said. You can restore to hypervisor manager, restore to the node. When you have a networking, this is the place where you can specify the MAC address. Always the original is kept in our database, so it will be appeared as a first choice. But this is a place where you can actually change it before it will be ingested into the configuration after the restoration process of the data or the restoration will be done. All right. Next thing from the Microsoft, this is what I told you. The sexy part is these private channels. So let's go into the Teams, find some private channels. So I will try to find prywatne. It's in Polish. Prywatne is a private one. So you can see that's quite old, outdated backup, but this is our demo. If you will go into the specific private channel, you can see that we have all of the details, backup history, if backup was done successfully or not. This will be the place to analyze the download and analyze the log if something happens. And in protected data, you can see that we have some private channels, general, and the private channels. We have some Merry Christmas. This is information about the Mariah Carey album from 1994 from the Columbia Records. We have some Merry Christmas cards, so it's quite old. It's actually 2023, 28th of December. So somebody who tested the software was still in a Christmas Eve mood, definitely. Again, the history. What is important, you can see here the members. So who was in this private chat conversation? So it was Eliza Fraser, Natalie Burke, and Lydia Holloway. So all of these. Oh, even we have a Sandra here. I guess it's from France. But this is also a good option. If you could tell me from which episode or which season this GIF is, you will have some extra notification from myself in person. Kangaroo. So just here you have a place to download straight away or restore into the same channel that it used to be protected. All right. I mentioned also about notification rules. So keep in mind that when we created a notification rules, we added this 3 space of backup destination of 3 space of staging space lower than percentage. So if we are, for example, have a less than 20% available on a backup destination, we can trigger this action, send this information, so we can push web or put into the Slack channel or webhook, send the information to our system. From the backup destination, this is what we said from the UI perspective. Keep in mind that we also did the same. So always when we go inside the backup destination or whatever bigger objects on the left menu, you will start with the stats, all of the read-only features, and here you will have the option to change, for example, which node can use this particular backup destination projects, if we are talking about the OpenStack or the OpenShift, and specific configuration. Where is the path for this backup destination? Can we use, for example, the native deduplication base or the virtual data optimizer, which we are running on the Red Hat system? History, so related backups to this specific backup destination. This is what I said, and this tape pools that I told you that we moved. So all of the tape managers, so support for the libraries, different drives, and the tape, which can be located into the different location, can be moved. We can assign location, eject, import, and use the tape pools as a, for example, secondary backup destination. So always the first choice is to use the local file system in most cases, or the duplication appliances. Secondary, it could be the tapes. Also for the archival perspective, this not only the object storage, but we added the tape, which is also the one of the best air gap protection, because this is a physical relocated physical media that can be easily moved and gives you the 100% availability of your data in case of any overwrite or ransomware attack. And we know that more and more attacks are related to the backup systems. All right, we can see that we have some agents, so let's run the backup during a demo. Let's also run backup for the Microsoft virtual environments. I just want to, always what I saying when we have this kind of the demo is that the beauty and applications here, we can take the internal database, some SQL. I don't know if it's working on my demo, but let's give it a try. What I always saying, the beauty is to source and target agnostic. So when I told you about the moving the Microsoft 365 agent into the node, I would like to simplify the process of protecting the different sources in the same way. And here you can see the example that I'm running the Microsoft 365 databases, file system, so internal databases, different virtual machines from the different hypervisors, hypervisors manager, into the different backup destinations in the same simplified way. So this is the beauty of the Storware. This is also our philosophy of the freedom of choice, so giving you the wide range of the protected sources with one of the widest range of the backup targets. And remember, we are the only company who are right now allowing you to send in the data on-prem into the object storage, so into the cloud, or into the backup, different enterprise backup vendors that we are cooperating with. We are not fighting with them. We can extend their own functionality, or they lack gaps that they have from the KVM-ish or the Zen-ish hypervisors world, and we do it in a good way for the last decade. When the Storware was started and begin the journey as a new backup and recovery vendor. Okay, So I guess we have all. Like I said, if you have most of the questions, just put into the chat. My team will respond in the ASAP mode. I'm really thrilled to show you the latest 6.2 version. Looking forward to, and I encourage you to just download, play with it. If you have any question, do not hesitate to contact me directly through the LinkedIn or other social media, or just write me the email. You will find all of the details in the end of the webinar. So thank you for spending the time with us. My name is Paweł Mączka. I'm CTO and VP at Storware, and that was a webinar related to the latest version of Storware Backup and Recovery 6.2.